Yeah.
Great. Good evening. We'd like to start the meeting. If we could begin the introductory video. I'd like to call the November 5th, 2020 meeting of the Buncombe County Commission to order. Thank you all for being with us this evening. Let's begin our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise and join us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As we begin our meeting this evening, our community and our country continue to struggle with the COVID-19 pandemic. More than 9.6 million individuals are known to have been infected in our nation, including more than 100,000 individuals who have been infected in the past 24 hours. 234,000 Americans have died, including 1,600 individuals who have died in the past day. I'd like to ask for a moment of silence to acknowledge the many lives that have been lost and the families that have been affected, both across the country and here in our community. People may offer a silent prayer for the healing of those who are struggling with COVID, and for the doctors, nurses, and other health professionals and healing hands that are working to save lives and support recovery. Please join us in a moment of silence. Thank you very much. All right, I'd like to read the ethics reminder to the board. In accordance with the Code of Ethics adopted by the board, all county commissioners have a duty to obey all applicable laws regarding official actions, to uphold the integrity and independence of the office, to avoid impropriety in the exercise of official duties, to faithfully perform the duties of the office, and to conduct the affairs of the governing board in an open and public manner. Is there any item on the agenda, the outcome of which will have a direct, substantial, and readily identifiable financial impact for any board member? Does any board member have a financial interest in any public contract coming before the board today? There being none, all board members have a duty and obligation to vote on any matters voted on by the board at this meeting. All right, we're going to take public comment in just a couple of minutes if there is any. And I see that our clerk is indicating that there is no public comment. Nobody's signed up for public comment. Okay, very good. Commissioners, are there any questions about any items on the consent agenda? Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda and to follow the remainder of the agenda as published?
So moved.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Ms. Pender, do you have any information you'd like to share in our county manager's report?
No, sir.
All right. We do not have any items under old business, so we come to new business. And the first item under new business is consideration of waiving occupancy tax penalties incurred due to COVID-19 for the sales months of February through August 2020, which are due March through September 2020. And Jennifer Pike's going to help us out with this. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Chairman. Good afternoon, Commissioners. As Chairman Newman mentioned, I'm before you this afternoon to talk about occupancy tax penalty waivers due to COVID. I'd like to walk through three quick topics in this presentation: the occupancy tax penalty waiver request, the Buncombe County Tourism Development Authority action, and the penalty summary as of October 21st. As you may remember, occupancy tax penalty waivers follow a two-step process: approval by the Tourism Development Authority, followed by final approval by the Buncombe County Board of Commissioners. On September 30th, the Tourism Development Authority approved an automatic waiver of all occupancy tax penalties incurred or to be incurred for the sales months of February through August 2020 due to COVID. The request before you today is approval to follow the recommendation and approval by the Tourism Development Authority related to penalty waivers for the sales months of February through August 2020. I inserted the key component from the Tourism Development Authority action, that is to waive penalties incurred due to late payment or reporting of occupancy taxes for the sales months of February through August 2020 due on the 20th day of each month in March through September 2020. This includes penalties incurred and those still to be assessed as late reports are filed. Also noted in those minutes are this action alleviates the need to have individual establishments come forward to request waiver. So the penalty summary as of October 21st for the months of sales February through August: 67 establishments have delinquent reporting or remitting. Occupancy tax is a two-part process. They have to report their sales and their occupancy tax due, and they have to pay it. So there's a penalty associated for both actions. $105,717 of known penalties are to be waived following approval. 29 establishments are yet to report one or more months of sales or occupancy taxes. So there's an unknown of the total penalties due because until reports are filed, we don't know what the penalties assessed would be. I told you that'd be quicker. Can I answer any questions for you?
You were very efficient. Thank you. Commissioners, are there any questions about the request?
So the taxes have been paid. These are for penalties only.
All taxes have not been paid.
Have not been paid.
We do have some establishments that we have set up on payment arrangements.
Okay.
And we do have some that we are still trying to get to remit payment to us.
But usually we expect those taxes
Yes.
to be paid, and these are penalties associated with the delay.
Yes. The same collection methods afforded in property tax are given to us for, or are permitted for us to use with occupancy taxes. Historically, we haven't had to employ any of those.
And this is just for the period from February through August. Is that
Right.
correct?
That is correct.
And
And
is
these, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Is there an expectation at this time whether there might be a subsequent request for a period after August?
So after conversation with Chris Cavanaugh, the executive director, he said that he was not willing to extend this any more than they did with this latest action.
Okay.
Chairman, I sit on that board, so I would agree with that statement. I don't expect anything. I expect if it comes back later, it'll be individual like it was before, if anything comes, but not the blanket. So.
Okay.
And any of those individual requests would subsequently come to before this board for approval.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion to approve it.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
And next up is consideration of a budget amendment for jail and prison reentry grant. And Jennifer Barnett will be presenting this item.
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners.
Good evening.
So the first budget amendment before you is related to the Grants Project Fund. You heard from our Justice Services Director during the briefing meeting on October 20th related to a grant award in the total amount of $439,883.09 from Dogwood Health Trust to support integrated public health justice initiative to reduce recidivism and increase access to medical and mental health substance use care for those exiting the Buncombe County Detention Facility and the Swannanoa and Craggy Correctional Centers. This budget amendment is a request to accept the grant to establish the budget needed to receive the revenues and to expend the funds in our Grant Projects Fund.
Thank you. Are there any questions or motion?
I'll make a motion to accept it.
Second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you. That motion passes unanimously. All right, and next up is a budget amendment for debt issuance for the solar project.
Yes. And so these are two related budget amendment requests. One is for the general fund and one is, one is for the general fund and one is for the capital projects fund, but related, and I'll describe how. So before you, you've heard both from Jeremiah and from Don Warren, Finance Director, related to the issuance of financing for the solar project. On July 21st, 2020, the Board of Commissioners approved awarding a contract in the amount of $10,283,136 to MB Haynes to install solar on public facilities. On August the 4th, 2020, this board established the capital project in the amount of $10,283,136. These budget amendments authorize for the general fund debt issuance and debt service costs. So I'm going to explain to you for the general fund. We're requesting to budget $125,000 for debt issuance costs. However, those will be covered with bond proceeds. So that revenue is from bond proceeds. The general fund burden or increased cost is $126,686 to cover the debt service interest in fiscal year 21. So we're asking to appropriate fund balance in that amount. The other budget amendment is for the capital projects fund. So since the time of the original conversation and budgeting for the solar projects, the Hall Fletcher Elementary project was removed from the scope of the project. So we are requesting to reduce the capital project budget in the amount of $312,356 to match that reduction and removal from the project costs.
And can those be made in as a single motion, or do they need to be separate?
I think in the conversation that can be done together.
Great. All right, thank you very much. And just for a little context for folks who may not have heard, I think as the schools were looking at the projects on their properties, late in the process, there were some concerns about the roof at Hall Fletcher and whether it might need some maintenance in the near future. And our staff needed to go ahead and get these details buttoned down. So the decision was made to just go ahead and take that project out of the portfolio. So that's the reason it came out, is there were just some questions about whether right now is the right time to do it. So that reduces the cost of the overall project a little bit, since there's one less system, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions or motion?
I so move.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and the last item is the consideration of a budget amendment for the School Capital Fund Commission recommended school year 2022 projects.
Yes.
Here comes the roof.
So this is a budget amendment for our public school capital needs fund. So as per the annual occurrence, the School Capital Fund Commission met on October the 12th, 2020, and have approved for recommendation to the Board of Commissioners $16,367,823 of new projects for the 2022 calendar, so the school year. $3,897,823 is recommended for Asheville City School projects, and $12,470,000 recommended for Buncombe County Schools projects. Just to review, just quickly, for Asheville City Schools, there will be campus-wide projects at Vance Elementary, and then Buncombe County Schools projects will be completed at Haw Creek Elementary, Estes Elementary, Valley Springs Middle, and Fairview Elementary. This budget amendment budgets the capital project expenditures, and then with the anticipated revenues will be debt proceeds, and the debt service payments are then paid through the Article 39 sales tax.
All right, thank you very much. Commissioners, are there any comments or questions?
Just want to make mention that a big part of this is Hall Creek Elementary. You know, it's a big project, $8.5 million in that. There's a lot of discussion of this. Chairman Newman and myself are on the commission, which is a great commission to be on. But I'm happy to make the motion to approve.
And I'll second that. Any further discussion or questions? I would just add, this is a significant investment in taxpayer funds, over $16 million, but I would just echo what Commissioner Belcher said. We've got a really good process with the city schools and the county staff all at the table to look at the full range of capital needs for our many city and county schools throughout Buncombe County. And the list of projects that we'd like to fund is always much longer than the resources we have, but it's a really good process to prioritize those and look at the ones that really need to be focused on now, with an eye towards responsible use of taxpayer money, taking care of these buildings so we don't let small problems turn into bigger problems, and keeping them energy efficient and safe and just healthy places for our kids to go learn. So anyway, it's a great process, and I really appreciate serving on that with Commissioner Belcher. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you so much, Jennifer.
Thank you.
All right, Commissioners, we have some board positions to consider. First up is the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council, and we have 5 appointments we need to make.
So I'm going to make a motion for Philip Cooper, Jean Charachi, Ola Misako, Jorge Redmond, Gabrielle Orderway.
I'll second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the second group is the Homeless Initiative Advisory Committee. And we have one appointment that needs to be made due to a resignation that occurred on the committee.
I would make a motion to approve Tara McCracken.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, Commissioners.
Chairman, if I may,
Yes, sir.
just want to bring up a couple of boards and committees that we kind of, I think the last meeting we put off due to the amount of applicants and the diversity of applicants for the Strategic Partnership Grants Committee. We have left that open-ended and not taken down the advertisement for that. We've only received one more application, and it's still not any diversity within the applicants.
Okay.
So just wanted to pass that on.
All right.
And I know it's kind of a time crunch to have that position filled, so I don't know how the board feels about that, but wanted to give you that update.
So let's advertise it a little bit longer, but So I would just put a call out to the community for folks who are listening to this commission meeting tonight. We've got a lot of different boards and commissions on, and our strategic partnership citizen advisory board is one of the most important. This is the group of citizens in our community that formally make recommendations to the Board of Commissioners about the allocation of a good portion of our community partnership grants. So it's a really important board. We really look to them for this. So we would really encourage folks who live anywhere in Buncombe County to look at this board. You can go to our website, buncombcounty.org. There's a description of it, and we'd really encourage interested citizens to consider applying for this board, because we have 2 appointments we need. Is that correct? 2 appointments that need to be filled?
At
Or just
this
one?
time, it's just one.
Okay, so we've got a vacancy that needs to be filled. So, and we need to do it pretty soon. So we'd encourage folks to go there, and you can submit an application to our county clerk, Lamar Joyner, and look forward to having a good group of people to consider for this important post. All right.
Also have another board that we're going to have to consider interviewing for, and that's the WNC Regional Air Quality Board. It's one of our governance boards. We have 1 position and 3 applicants as of now. The actual advertisement for that position ends tomorrow. I just wanted to put it on your radar, and whenever you see fit that we can start talking to the applicants about interviews.
All right. Commissioners, this is an important board. You know, we're like, there's so many things we do kind of a little bit uniquely in Buncombe County. This is one of them. Air quality or air permitting is not handled by the state of North Carolina in Buncombe County like it is, I assume, in every other county in the state. We have our own agency that does that just in Buncombe County. So, and it's got a citizen oversight board. This is another really important board. And so just for any folks who are listening to this board, we've got an application for it. You need to get it in by the end of business tomorrow on Friday. And we're looking for folks who are interested in having a good permitting process for businesses in the community that need to get an air permit. And any folks who have an interest or expertise in that area, now's your time to put in an application for this board. So and we'll interview. Do we want to talk about when we want to do interviews for this? We could do them before the next meeting if we wanted to. Or Mr. Joyner, did you have a suggestion?
I didn't. I just
Okay.
wanted to make you aware and let the board decide on the interview schedule.
Commissioners, do y'all want to think about a time to do this?
How many do we have?
We have 3 applicants
3.
currently.
Because that is very important, and I'd like to have some good people that's interested. I mean, could we even extend that a week after making the announcement tonight? Because I think that's one of the most important things for all of us
If there's a
here.
consensus of the board, I'd be happy to give it another week. I agree, it's a really important board. We need people with some expertise in this. So it is, and is there a consensus that we're going to extend that for a week so that hopefully folks who are listening to it tonight, or if commissioners know folks you might want to talk to encourage them to apply, as well as for the strategic partnership board too. Let's extend it for 1 additional week. And then commissioners, do you want to plan on interviewing them sometime between now and the next meeting?
If we're only, let me turn this on. If we're only going to be interviewing 3, I would suggest we do it at, we'll have a pre-meeting on the 17th at 3. I'd suggest we do it at 2 o'clock.
Right, yeah.
Then that way we don't have to do another day, unless there's something else that's going on
We have
then.
early childhood from 1 to 2:30 that day.
How about
We could-
how about at lunchtime then?
All right, that's fine, I mean, whatever y'all want to do. It'd just be better if we didn't do it another day.
I
If we
agree.
could do it that day. So, and it's 3.
Although we might get a few more.
Yeah, that's right. We might get a few more. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Still.
What time do
Why
you
don't we
do yours?
shoot for
1 o'clock?
Your meeting starts at 1?
We start at 1.
Well, why don't
12
we
o'clock.
plan on doing it at noon? Great. All right, very
All
good.
right,
Thank you,
thanks.
Mr. Joyner, for those updates. Mr. Frew, do we have any need for a closed session this evening?
Praise the Lord.
Is there a motion to adjourn? Oh, wait, I've got an
yeah.
announcement. I got to make a couple announcements.
Please
Um,
have an announcement as well. So I'm gonna
Okay,
let you do yours.
you go ahead.
Okay, so just want to announce to the board that the Advanced Monument Task Force has been diligently meeting over the past few months. And they would like to hold a virtual special meeting with the City Council, Asheville City Council, as well as the Buncombe County Commission. And they will have a vote on their recommendation for either removal, relocation, or repurpose of the Advanced Monument Task Force. And that date is November 19th at 4:30.
What time they planning on doing that?
At 4:30.
Yeah. So they're going to hold a meeting that day and make a decision about what their recommendation is.
Yes, and we would notice a special meeting for our board just to attend their meeting. And City Council is already on board with doing that as well as of today. Just got that before the briefing.
Okay, so you're going to provide public notice that county commission members have been invited to this meeting, and, you know, many of them may attend, or maybe all of them attend if they're available. But it's their meeting. They're inviting us to attend.
Correct.
Okay,
It's not like a special.
okay. All right, so you're just letting us know you're going to provide notice that we've been invited to that.
I wanted to make sure that the commission was okay with that. Really, I'm reaching out in that aspect as well. But if you are, I will go forward with notifying the task force as well as the city council as well.
Commissioners, have any questions or comments? I don't hear any objections to the commission being invited to their meeting, right?
And I would send an invite for you, and you would have the information to log on for that virtual meeting.
So it's virtual.
Yes, it is.
Okay, and
Okay.
we'd just be listening and watching them meet. We won't take any action or have discussion.
Correct.
Thank
Yep.
you.
All right, that sounds fine. All right, thank you very much for, I've got a conflict, but I'll try to change it. All right. The next regularly scheduled meeting of the Buncombe County Commission is on November 17th at 3 p.m. The county commissioners will hold their briefing meeting at 200 College Street, room 326 in downtown Asheville. And then at 5 p.m. on November 17th, the commissioners will hold their regular meeting at 200 College Street, room 326 in downtown Asheville. As we mentioned earlier, we do anticipate the county commissioners will hold an interview with applicants to the Western North Carolina Regional Air Quality Agency earlier that day at noon, and that is also a public meeting, a meeting that's open to the public. All right, is there a motion to adjourn? So moved. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, we're adjourned.